What is going on, DIY community? So today, I want to pull back the curtain on what does it take to make sure that you are getting the best roofing bid. Let's check it out. Okay, so here's the thing. We want to make sure that when you have to spend money, what I call ugly money on a roof, we put roofs on, but I don't even like to spend money on roofing. That's just not fun, right? So I want to make sure that you are getting the very best value. You're hiring the very best contractor when it comes to getting your roof installed. Because most people don't want to get up, yeah, maybe you can do a small roof repair, but doing a full roof, good night, unless you got enough people, that's going to take you a good day or two. So how do you find the best contractor to do that? Well, there's a couple things. Number one, you want to make sure that you're getting an apples to apples comparison. What's that mean? Well, obviously, you've got different types of shingles that you can choose from, etc. But believe it or not, there is technology that exists out there that will tell you exactly how big your roof is and how much of each component you need to install a new roof. It's called an Eagle View report. You can see an example of one on the screen right now, but this Eagle View report is something that you can pay for yourself, or you can even ask your contractor for. But what it's going to do is it's going to show you a bird's eye view of your entire roof, and with technology, it has electronic measurements that tell you how many gutters you have, how many foot of eave, how many feet of rake, all of the components and questions that a contractor is going to have when determining and putting together an estimate for you. So it's a great way to make sure that each contractor is quoting the exact same amount of work, and maybe somebody didn't mismeasure your roof. It's a very, very good technology, and again, it's called an Eagle View report. You can expect to spend anywhere between $35 up to about $75 for one of these reports, but it's a great way to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting, and it'll stay with you forever. Okay, one of the other things that I want to just kind of share with anybody, and these are just some little tips that maybe could help save you some money, but right now it's January. It's a little bit more cold outside, so roofing contractors are not nearly as busy this time of the year as what they may be in the spring and summer months. Well, a lot of times if the temperature rises just enough and we can find those nice 35 to 40 degree days where we can still safely and comfortably install roofs, a lot of times you can ask a contractor for a discount for doing work in the cold months. They're not quite as busy. Maybe they want to keep their teams working and busy. So it's a great way to possibly save a little bit of money or receive a discount. Not all contractors are certainly willing to do that, but some might be. It's worth asking the question, right? Okay, one of the other things is maybe asking for a cash discount. Okay, we get asked this question all the time, and it's one of the things where a lot of people, instead of spending $20,000 on their credit card, maybe if you pay cash, there may be an opportunity for a discount there as well. So again, just asking the question. Not all contractors may comply with that, but it's an opportunity. You don't know if you don't ask, right? So as we continue on with some different options to choose between, I have to look at my notes here. Okay. All right, so moving on, I want to kind of move forward to the sales process of buying a roof. Okay, how do you know that you're hiring the right contractor? I'm going to kind of turn the roles. Okay, I'm usually the guy helping people discover what it's going to take to replace a roof and then quoting a price. I'm going to give you those same tools right now as far as some questions to ask. Okay, a lot of times people ask, well, what makes you different than company XYZ? Well, that's fine, but what do you think somebody's going to say in that situation? Okay, they're just going to tell you how great they are, etc. So what if you ask them a different question? What makes you different from company XYZ? What are some practices that you do that make you different from the competition? Walk me through that, okay? Some questions you can ask to get some better clarity as to, are they going to adhere to all of the best practices and make sure that they're installing your roof exactly the way the manufacturer recommends, okay? How long have you been doing roofing is a great question to ask. You certainly want to make sure that you're working with people that are competent, knowledgeable, and have all the right tools in place and the right team of people in place to get your job done on time when they said they were going to do it. Believe it or not, the next one, the third component, is so important. And some people ask this, we get asked by about half of our customers, but to ask to see a copy of your contractor's insurance, see a copy of their bond, of their workman's comp, to make sure that in the event something, God forsaken, bad happens when the roof's being installed, that you and the contractor are both appropriately covered. So getting a copy of your contractor's insurance is a great next step. Sorry, I got to cheat sheet again here real quick. Okay. Hey, one of the next questions, the fourth question I always like to get out there, is making sure that you as a homeowner are aware, and is this guy just going to go pick some guys up off the side of the road to do this, or does he actually have a professional team sorry, let me start that over. Sorry, Sean. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So one of the next questions, the fourth question I always encourage people to ask is, you certainly want to know a little bit more about your contractor, and you can read reviews and get a lot of good information that way, but the guy is actually doing the work. Is the person who's coming out going to be the one actually installing the shingles, or do they have a team of people? Well, at Roofco, we have a team of people that we work with that have been installing roofs for over 12 years now, and we want to make sure that those guys are always working with us so that way we can deliver a consistent result to our customers. So asking your roofing contractor, how long have you been working with your teams or your crews, is a great piece of knowledge to find out. Okay, one of the other things that we always want to encourage you to explore is what's going to happen the day that the roof is actually being installed. So the fifth question I always encourage people to ask is, am I going to have a job site supervisor on the site the entire day, or are you just going to show up, drop off some dudes, and then I'm not going to hear from you all day, right? That's one of the most challenging components of having a major project done on your home, is the lack of supervision, and you as a consumer need to know what's going on. So that leads us to the sixth question, is how can I expect to be communicated with throughout the process? Communication is key for us at Roofco. We want to make sure that you know exactly what's supposed to be happening, when it's supposed to happen, so that way there are no surprises. When you're spending money on things like roofs, you definitely don't want to have a surprise. So that's one of the things you definitely want to find out, is how can I expect to be communicated with throughout each step of the process. So asking that up front can avoid a lot of challenges down the road. Okay, we as contractors, unfortunately, we are not very high on the list of trusted people in the world out there. So asking a lot of these questions up front can be a way to save a lot of headache and heartache down the road. Okay, one of the next questions that I encourage people to ask when they're going through this process is to gain a little bit better understanding, and I got to look at my notes, sorry. Okay, and one of the next questions that I always encourage people to ask, because nobody, again, likes surprises, right? So we want to make sure that you know, what are any out-of-pocket expenses that could possibly come up after we have an agreement on price? Well, in roofing, unfortunately, there are some things that could come up that we maybe don't know about up front. Things like rotted decking, okay? We unfortunately don't always know that until we take the roofing off and have a chance to do a full inspection of the decking. But those are things that you need to know up front. How much would you have to pay for a piece of wood if they have to replace it? Is there anything else that could possibly come up that we need to know about? So again, to avoid any unexpected financial surprises, you want to know what those are up front and what the potential cost implications could be of those. Okay? Now, one of the things, again, moving on to the next question here, nobody likes challenges, nobody likes problems, but unfortunately we live in a world where that just happens sometimes, right? So you always want to ask your contractor, in the event, okay, this is the next question, but in the event something gets broken and or damaged on my home, how do you handle that? Okay, you know, maybe a nail gets left and you drive over a nail and you have a flat tire on your car, or, you know, something happens, they're throwing debris down and it damages a bush, or, you know, maybe, God forbid, you know, excuse my language there, you know, maybe something happens and something gets broken, maybe a window gets broken because a ladder, you know, accidentally falls. Things just unfortunately happen. So you want to know up front how that's going to be handled. How have contractors handled that in the past? I certainly don't like to buy tires, but unfortunately there's been a couple instances where we've had to, you know, pony up because we made a mistake, we left a nail there and the customer had a flat tire. So again, we at Roofco want to make sure that everything is addressed up front. All expectations are crystal clear, so that way you know exactly what's supposed to happen and again, when it's supposed to happen. Put it on here. And the next question and the final question I really encourage, and there's a countless array of other questions you could certainly ask, but you know, making sure that you know what's supposed to happen, when are payments supposed to be made, okay? You know, a lot of times contractors will take a deposit up front and then they'll take the payment, the final payment after the job's completed. Okay, we always encourage you, don't pay for the entire job up front. Okay, if somebody's got all your money, what incentive do they have to show up and get the job done? So some contractors require a deposit, others do not. You know, that is a very common practice, but making sure that you don't pay for the rest of the job until the job is done and you are 100% satisfied is definitely something that we encourage you to do. So those are a couple little tips, ideas that we wanted to share with you to make sure that the next time you have to spend money on a roof project, you know exactly what you're doing. You're hiring the right contractor for you to make sure the job goes smoothly. Hopefully that was helpful. If you took anything away from this video, definitely hit that like button. Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. If there's any questions that you have pertaining to this topic and or any others, definitely let us know below. And then be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be bringing all kinds of roofing knowledge to you moving forward throughout the rest of this year. Thanks so much, everybody.